We see many driving factors that has customers looking at and doing outsourcing. Really, it gets at the heart of what we see from like Gartner and Forrester, where 80% of an organization's IT budget is spent on maintaining existing applications. So they've looked to alternative models to try to bring the cost efficiency into perspective so that they can provide more new applications for their business units. So really driving down costs is a big need. And the other factor, though, that we're seeing emerge lately is accessing resources. These legacy applications that are based on mainframe technology, the resource pool for that is dwindling in certain regions around the world. So accessing the right skills is a driving factor for why companies look at outsourcing. Well, we do see many projects, outsourcing projects, succeed, but there are failures. And the common contributor to the failure is usually we see it around communication or lack thereof. And a lot of that we see is addressed around not having the proper insight. So the outsourcer doesn't have the proper insight of what the outsourced customer is looking for, what their business specifications are, what their application architecture is like. And then likewise, the outsourced customer doesn't have the proper insight as to what the outsourcer did. And then there's usually a breakdown in communication that we see results in quality and time to market problems. So the gap that we've seen from customers that's missing in outsourced projects is having proper insight and enabling that communication so that the outsourcer is able to have the knowledge of the project, of the application from the outsourced customer's perspective, and then likewise the outsourced customer has the insight as to what the outsourcer has done from a quality standpoint. So by improving that insight, you improve the communication, which enables projects to not only stay on time and budget, but also to produce quality results in the end. Yeah, actually, our solution in metrics-based management has come from our customers that we've worked together to develop best practices to help them succeed at outsourcing. And an example is with an insurance customer of ours, where as they went into more outsourcing arrangements, they were finding their quality was degrading, largely due again to the fact that they didn't have the proper insight. So what they've established is a quality gate process whereby they're able to pick up some key quality metrics from the outsourcer after they've completed their project work. That enables both the outsourced insurance company as well as the outsourcer to really understand if the proper level of testing is being performed, so that when the project is completed, they're both assured that the high levels of quality are going to be met. And another example of a best practice pertaining to outsourcing comes from a customer of ours in the banking industry. Now this was a case where the client was not only experiencing quality issues due to a lack of insight, but they were also running into time to market problems. And that in the end was eroding the cost savings that the customer had hoped to enjoy from using the outsourcing firm. So together they worked with Compuware and their outsourcer to develop a best practice which enabled them to have better insight early in the application lifecycle so they could provide the outsourcer with better documentation, better information, and then later in the lifecycle the outsourcer was able to provide the customer with better insight. So at the end of after implementing this best practice, they were able to improve their time to market dramatically and reach the quality goals, which enabled the customer to enjoy the savings that they hope to get from outsourcing without sacrificing quality. We see many trends emerging when it pertains to this topic of outsourcing. First, we're seeing that organizations are realizing that before they begin an outsourcing arrangement, they should look at do they have the proper process in place to ensure quality. So being more proactive, we're definitely seeing already as a trend, as opposed to waiting until there's problems with the outsourcing arrangement. Be more proactive, set up a quality-based process early on. The other trend we're seeing is that organizations are looking to do global sourcing, which is really getting at setting up their own subsidiary or their own group of people at a remote location. So instead of going to a third party, they keep it in-house but are able to access remote-based talent to address their technology needs. And the third trend that we notice is really around just the general growth of outsourcing. We've seen studies from Gartner and others that show right now 40% of organizations do some form of outsourcing, and that trend definitely seems to continue as organizations look to address both their cost and resource challenges.